Welcome, 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 family, to another Revolution Sunday, or Revolution Sundays with yours truly, A.G. Green. You know what to do. Tag, share, and text. Take, share, and tag. It's time to vibe with our tribe. We are streaming live from the Patreon platform to all free and paid patrons. Tap in right now, connect, and let's go with it. Glad to see everybody who's watching me live, and even those who've come by in replay. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Grand Rising, my crystal. Good to see my powerful niece Hillary on. Our resident therapist is on as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for connecting, and others who are coming in to our wonderful, wonderful spiritual metaphysical space. So glad to see you, and you today. Let's pray. Almighty, the creator, the source and sustainer of all things, all life, lead us and guide us. Thank you for the divine mind, the Christ mind that is ever present in us. Thank you for our unique oneness with you in power and purpose. Lead us and guide us into all truth. Thank you for healing, wholeness, manifestation of the best and greatest version of ourselves. And thank you even right now for the revelation, at the same time the realization of the gospel of consciousness ever expanding in us. And we thank you and praise you for those who will connect and know themselves and know you as they've never experienced and witnessed it before. And we pray in the name, the way, the power, and the consciousness in remembrance of Yeshua. It is so, and so it is. So glad to see everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. What an honor and a privilege, as usual, to be with everybody on this stream today. It is such a wonderful moment. Don't forget to tag and share, like, share many hearts, connect with people who you think this message will resonate with. Visit us at theaggreen.com. That's theaggreen.com. And we are streaming live from within our Patreon platform, patreon.com/aggreen now in the URL link. Or if you search within Patreon itself, just simply type Revolution Inc. and you'll be able to find us there. And connect, like, subscribe on social media. Simply type in @AGGreen now on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, and YouTube, and you'll find me and us there. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ, through the Christos, through the Christ mind who strengthens me. I want you to type in the comment section and speak out loud to yourself, I can. Come on, type it in the comment section and speak out loud to yourself, I can. I can. I can expand. I can improve. I can grow. I can endure. I can master. I can multiply. I can experience healing and wholeness. I can conquer any challenge. I can overcome any situation. I can overcome any circumstance. I can heal. I can experience healing. I can know love. I can experience love. I can experience abundance. Come on, type it in the comment section and speak it out loud. I can. I love what the text says. Ephesians 3:20, now to him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, and it is according to the power that worketh in us. I want you to type it in the comment section as the direct correlation and connection between you and your creator, the source, sustainer, your oneness with it and all things, to know that I am powerful. Come on, speak it out loud and type it in the comment section. I am powerful. That's it. Type it in the comment section. I am powerful. Speak it to yourself. If something presents itself to you right now as an opposition, speak out loud, I am powerful. If something is trying to counteract or even countermand your position right now and wants you to feel weak and inferior, if these thoughts arise in your mind, type and speak, I am powerful. Oh yes, I am powerful. And I am that I am, as Paul would say, by the grace of God, I am powerful. That's it. Speak it out loud. Type it in the comment section. Walk through your house with your hands on your hips, or walk through your house with any gesture or gesticulation and speak, I am powerful. What a wonderful thing it is to know that you know that you know that you know that you are a powerful, dynamic, spiritual being, a powerful, dynamic, spiritual species. What a great thing it is to own that power, to know that power, to recognize that power. I do believe that praise is common for the upright. And I want you to type in the comment section at least one thing you are thankful and grateful for, at least one thing you want to give praise to the source, to the divine, to the creator, to God for right now. I am so thankful and so grateful for great health and strength and the activities of my limbs, fervent, powerful activities of my limbs, and last but not least, the power of intellect and thinking and a sound and right mind. Looking at my microwave, and guess what it says? Eastern time, 11. Oh my goodness, 11 on both my microwave and the stove. Anyway, type it in the comment section. What are you thankful and what are you grateful for right now? Messages keep coming through. I happen to look up and there it is. Numbers. Divine messages coming every single day. Come on, what are you thankful and grateful for? I've shared mine with you. Now you share yours with our audience. What are you thankful? And that's, of course, 8 a.m., 11, still staring at me. What a beautiful sight it is to behold. Quickly, what are you thankful and grateful for? Type it in the comment section. What are you thankful and grateful for? Somebody said life and divine protection. Thank you so much. Who else? What are you thankful and grateful for in the moment? Share it with us. It's all right to belt out the praise, to belt out thanksgiving. If you want to shout a hallelujah or thank you, God, or thank you, source, or thank you, divine. It's all right to do that. Let's see. Thankful and grateful for my body, taking such good care of me. Wonderful sound mind, powerful attention, disciplined mindset. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Anybody else want to share what you get praise and gratitude for? What are you thankful for right now? It is the language of not only the spirit and the divine, but the universe. It is a frequency. We don't just speak it and the frequency occurs. We think and the frequency transmits. Thinking and speaking transmits frequency. And last but not least, grateful for life and knowing and being of the divine. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Those who've shared in our live broadcast. What an honor and a privilege it is to express praise and, of course, gratitude. Thankful for you, and you. You're watching Revolution Sundays with yours truly, A.G. Green. And should have done this earlier, got distracted, but I'm quickly going to pull up the announcements about the book, because I got to remind you every time I see you, and I'm looking for more and more of you to stock this 7-day manifestation prayer and activation pack. Yes, indeed. Embody it. Take advantage of it. Utilize it. Let's see. There it is right there. And let me pull up the workbook real quick. the inside of the workbook. These are some of the things you get with that you see on your screen. Excuse me. I'm multitasking. One more thing I got to put up. It looks like it's in here. Thank you so much. 7-day structured plan, powerful prayers, reflection, journal prompts. There is a companion journal that I'll put up in a minute. Identity and mindset reset, action-driven activations. And here's the inside of the companion. It is a fillable PDF, which means you can type inside of it on your phone, tablet, or your laptop, preferably your laptop. You get to reflect and clarify, deepen your mindset, turn insight into action, track and celebrate progress, create lasting change. And you can end every day with these 7 days of guided audio activations that are in alignment with the book and the journal. Get it quickly by visiting the divinespeciesshop.com. As a matter of fact, if Chris will put that link up, direct link to the product, we would most certainly appreciate that, so that those who are on can just click on the link if you haven't gotten it yet and add it to your life. Today is a Sunday that we're streaming live. Start on Monday. Start using this 7-day manifestation prayer and activation pack every single day. And if you need to rinse and repeat, do it again. It's powerful. I'm looking forward to hearing all your testimonies from utilizing this pack. All right, let's see what we're going to do next. This is what we are going to do next. I got to check on you. What are you eating and sipping? And how are you feeling? What are you eating and sipping? And how are you feeling? What are you eating and sipping? And how are you feeling? I love it. I love hearing what you're eating and sipping and how you are feeling in the moment. Real quickly, talk to me. I've been sipping on some mushroom coffee, good old mushroom coffee today. Tell me, what are you eating and sipping and how are you feeling? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Keep speaking to myself or keep speaking to the body. But that's what I am sipping on. Let's see here. Thank you for liking the sound effects. Let's see. Hillary says, I have not ate or drank anything yet, and I have been up since 6:30. You haven't what? What? We're going to have to send the police after you. You know you should have been drinking and eating so you could share with us, Hillary's. Hillary, we thrive on your morning meals. You sent the popo, the food popo to pick you up. Who else? Can I live vicariously through anybody else right now? Can I live vicariously through anybody else right now? What are you eating and sipping and how are you feeling? Real quickly, talk to us. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Got to see. She said, wait, she did some water with emergency. That's healthy. In it? I'm going to send the food popo after you. You know we love food in this group. We just love us some food in this group. See, my Krista says, sipping coffee and getting ready to make avocado toast. Feeling good. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? And we're going to get into some good teaching on today. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. And even if you're watching this in replay, I'm thinking I'm going to replay this on Facebook channel. Chime in, whether it's on Patreon or Facebook. Let us know what you're eating and sipping while you're watching this. Feeling peaceful, relaxed, drinking some lemon water and some electrolytes. That's our resident therapist. All right, very healthy. Y'all healthy this morning. Very healthy this morning, as somebody would say. All right, thank you so much for sharing. what you're eating and sipping, and how you are feeling as well. So what I'm going to do today is something different. I want our resident therapist to hold on to the installment in terms of a series that I've been teaching on Sundays. Hold on to the where we are now, because I sense a leading to shift into something different. I know we've been discussing faith that becomes the architect of belief. We're going to come back to that. Look like I have part 5. I'm going to shift into a different subject for a few weeks, and then I'm going to come back to that. I can't shake it. So I think I need to discuss it maybe for the next month, and then we will come back to faith that becomes the architect of belief. There's something, as we used to say in growing up in church, that's in my spirit. It's something that's on my heart. That's something that keeps coming up that I think I need to address and share. It's not just for me. I believe it's for all of us, and whoever stumbles into, our gathering, I think are going to be blessed and empowered by it. We're going to go to 2 Kings chapter 4. 2 Kings chapter 4, and start at verse 26. We just want verse 26. Actually, I want my assistance. We're going to be looking at actually verses 16 through 37. I might should read that myself because it appears to be so lengthy. Let me pull it up. Real quickly so that I can read it, and my assistants, of course, they can put it up on the screen as well. I'm just going to read through it myself. Let's see here. Yeah, 16 to 37. Because it's lengthy, I'm not going to wait for all of it to come up on the screen, but our thematic text is verse 26. It's verse 26. And even now I'm checking the witness. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Mm-hmm. You put verse 26 up first, my assistants, and then I'm going to read 16 through 37. I'm just going to read it. Yeah, let's see what I can do here. Doing some cleaning up here inside the module. All right, and that's 2 Kings. This is where our thematic text will come from. So, because I'm not in the traditional space, I don't always use the thematic text like I used to. Both Jerry and I have been doing ministry for a while and matriculated through seminary, so forth and so on. And there's certain things you're taught in homiletics that are considered to be appropriate, especially with the etiquette of teaching and preaching. I haven't done that in a while, but I'm going to do that today. 4 and 26, you see in the NIV, run to meet her and ask her, are you all right? Is your husband all right? Is your child all right? I'm looking at the chat on Patreon on my phone. Okay. She said, everything is all right, she said. Very good, very good. Waiting on the King James to come up, and then I'm going to read, to give you a little context, 16 through 37. To give you some context, King James Run now, I pray thee, to meet her and say unto her, is it well with thee? Is it well with thy husband? Is it well with thy child? And she answered, she answered, it is well. We're going to use a subject for the next few weeks, or however long I'm led to talk about it. She said, it is well. And we say that all is well as a subtitle. It is well. All is well. And this is part one. It is well and all is well. This is part one. Let me make sure I number it. Yeah, a resident therapist will help us keep up with this. So I want you to type it in the comment section. I want you to type in the comment section, it is well and all is well. Type that in the comment section. It is well and all is well. Type that in the comment section. It is well and all is well. Ears to hear, we desire, and hearts to receive what the Spirit is revealing to us today in every now moment. And we bless you and praise you. We remember you, Yeshua. It is so, and so it is. It is well, and all is well. Like how Hillary typed it in caps, because this is what it is. I could not shake that, and I have been speaking that all week, employing some EFT, some emotional freedom techniques, or emotional freedom tapping as well, incorporating it into my nervous system. I could not shake that. So I'm going to spend some time discussing that. Let me read you the context before I give you the official introduction. I think I said I would read 16 through 37. Let's see. Actually, we can go up. Verse 8. And it fell on the day that Elijah passed to Shunem. There was a great woman, and she constrained him to eat bread. And so it was that as oft as he passed by, he turned in thither to eat bread. The prophet and his assistant were passing through this particular terrain, this particular geography, and the sweet woman noticed and discerned that he was special. Verse 9. And she said unto her husband, behold, I perceive that this is an holy man of God, which passeth by us continually. Let us make a little chamber, I pray thee, on the wall. And let us set for him there a bed and a table and a stool and a candlestick. And it shall be when he cometh to us that he shall turn in hither. So she decided she wanted to honor him by adding a room onto the house so that whenever he passed by, he could just rest there and stay there as long as he wanted. Let's see, verse 11. And it fell on a day that he came thither, and he turned into the chamber and lay there. And he said to Gehazi, his servant, call this Shunammite. And when he had called her, she stood before him. Verse 13. And he said unto him, say now unto her, behold, thou hast been careful for us with all this care. What is it to be done for thee? What is to be done for thee? Whether thou be spoken for to the king or to the captain of the host? And she answered, I dwell among mine own people. He wanted to compensate her and pay her back for the kindness that she had shown him and his servant. And when he said, what then is it to be done for her? And Gehazi answered, verily, she hath no child, and her husband is old. So she's basically saying, hey, I got all I need. It is a servant who identifies what she does not have that she desires. Verse 15. And he said, call her. And when he had called her, she stood in the door. Verse 16. And he said, about this season, according to the time of life, thou shalt embrace a son. And she said, nay, my Lord, thou man of God, do not lie unto thine handmaid. He declared, you're going to become pregnant. And she said, don't mess with my emotions. Verse 17. And the woman conceived and bare a son at that season that Elisha had said unto her according to the time of life, meaning it coincided and aligned with exactly what he said she would conceive and bear a child. Verse 18. And when the child was born, it fell on the day that he went out to his father to the reapers. And he said unto his father, my head, And he said to a lad, carry him to his mother. Verse 20. And when he had taken him and brought him to his mother, he sat on her knees till noon and then died. Verse 21. She went up and laid him on the bed of the man of God and shut the door upon him and went out. So he died. Verse 22. And she called unto her husband and said, send me, I pray thee, one of the young men and one of the asses or the jackasses, donkeys, that I may run to the man of God and come again. 23. And he said, wherefore wilt thou go to him today? It is neither new moon nor Sabbath. And she said, it shall be well. So she's responding to her husband. The prophet is not by. They're trying to anticipate where he might be. Verse 24. And then she sat on an ass and said to her servant, drive and go forwards, like not thy riding for me, except I bid thee. Verse 25. So she went and came unto the man of God to Mount Carmel. And it came to pass when the man of God saw her afar off that he said to Gehazi his servant, behold, yonder is that Shunammite. So the prophet saw her from a distance. Verse 26. Run now, I pray thee, to meet her and say unto her, is it well with thee? Is it well with thy husband? Is it well with the child? A salutation. And she answered, it is well. Verse 27. And when she came to the man of God to the hill, she caught him by the feet. She got on her knees and wrapped her arms around his feet. But Gehazi came near to thrust her away. The man of God said, let her alone, for her soul is vexed within her. And the Lord had hid it from me and had not told me. All these emotions she had been holding in finally were released when she saw the prophet. Verse 28. Then she said, did I desire a son of my Lord? Did I not say, do not deceive me? Now she's really expressing her pain. She said, I didn't ask for this. You gave this to me. Verse 29. Then he said to Gehazi, gird up thy loins and take my staff in thine hand and go thy way. If thou meet any man, salute him not. And if any salute thee, answer him not again. And lay my staff upon the face of the child. Verse 30. And the mother of the child said, as the Lord liveth and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And he arose and followed her. So he sent his servant ahead to try and see what he could accomplish with his staff. But the Shunammite woman said, I'm not leaving you. I'm staying with you. You're not escaping my sight. Verse 31. And Gehazi passed on before them and laid the staff upon the face of the child, and there was neither voice nor hearing. Wherefore he went again to meet him and told him, saying, the child is not awake. That didn't work. Whatever he told them to do, it didn't work. Verse 32. And when Elijah was coming to the house, behold, the child was dead and laid upon his bed. Dead, D-E-A-D, no life in its body. 33. He went in, therefore, and shut the door upon them twain and prayed unto the Lord. Verse 34. And he went up and lay upon the child. And put his mouth upon his mouth, and his eyes upon his eyes, and his hands upon his hands, and stretched himself upon the child, and the flesh of the child waxed warm. Okay. 35. The child is warming up. Then he returned and walked into the house to and fro, and went up and stretched himself upon him. And the child sneezed 7 times, and the child opened his eyes. Verse 36. And he called Gehazi and said, call this Shunammite. So he called her. And when she was come in unto him, he said, take up thy son. Verse 37. Then she went in and fell at his feet, and bowed herself to the ground, and took up her son and went out. All right, my phone looks fine. I'm actually looking at the broadcast on my phone, Chris, so it's not freezing up on my phone. Looks good here. Everybody else can comment. Okay, now here we go. Okay, somebody else said not experiencing any freezing. There we go. So this is the background. Now, I may not read this every week. I hope you know to go to the text I read, I think, beginning at verse 8 all the way down to verse 37. Gives us some background, which helps to give us some context of what we're discussing. It is well and all is well. This is part 1, all right? This is part 1. Again, when a lot of times when people see this story or view this story, or they know about this story because of her famous declaration, it is well. But many know the phrase. I think that few understand at times the context. Few understand the power. And almost nobody understands the consciousness behind it. This is not really just about a miracle child. It's not just about a resurrection. It's not merely about a prophet. It's a story about promise, perception, persistence, consciousness, identity, restoration. It is about what happens when life places a contradiction between you and the thing, God, the divine, the source, promise. So here is a question for all of us to consider. What do you do when reality says one thing, but the promise says another? I want you to type that in the comment section as a question to yourself. Phrase it like this: what do I do when reality says one thing, but the promise says another? What do I do when reality says one thing, but the promise says another? I want to see that question. There you go. Come up in the comment section. And it doesn't just have to be a promise from the creator, the source, and the sustainer. It could be a promise in terms of what you're co-creating, incubating within yourself as a better version of you as future events. So even what has been revealed and told to you through inspiration, through prophecy, through discernment by others, the promise can represent many, many things. But what do I do when reality says one thing, but the promise says another? Quickly, I love to give context. I haven't done this in a while, but whenever I teach from biblical texts, more specifically with characters like this, I love to give background. It is believed that Elijah ministered between 850 to 800 BC. Elisha is the successor here to Elijah. He succeeded the prophet Elijah. And it is believed that his ministry existed during some of Israel's darkest periods. For example, the northern kingdom was steeped in Baal worship, idolatry, political instability, and spiritual compromise. But here comes the voice of Elijah as a prophetic voice. He had many miracles in his ministry. And the text records twice as many miracles as his predecessor, Elijah. Here's something for observation. When Elijah called Elisha, Elisha requested a double portion of the spirit, of his spirit, according to 2 Kings 2:9. Now, the double portion of his spirit doesn't necessarily mean double power or twice as much power. It really was an inheritance language. The firstborn, for example, the firstborn son received a double portion. He was basically saying, I want to become your spiritual heir. I want to become your spiritual heir. So where is Schumann? Originally I talked about this and brought this sermon many times, but I'm giving you a different perspective. But Shunammite, of course, is in the territory of Issachar, believed in the territory of Issachar, overlooking the valley of Jezreel. Now today, this would be in a village called Sulam, Sulam. It's identified with the village of Sulam. Now this is important because Shunammite was located approximately 15 to 20 miles from Mount Carmel. And if you've read the biblical text, you realize that Mount Carmel is a significant place in Scripture, a very significant place in Scripture, and more specifically, a very powerful place as it relates to his spiritual father, Elijah. So this means the journey of Elisha was not a casual stroll. It was determined pursuit. So he's on his way, some believe, to the school of the prophets, and he's taking this road every time he travels. All right. Let's look at it from a physical standpoint, or from a physical transportation standpoint that is in alignment with the transportation they had back then. So a donkey typically traveled 3 to 4 miles per hour. That means the trip would take 4 to 6 hours each way, from Carmel to Shunem, the route that the prophet was traveling, possibly even longer. So this is a long trip, even on donkey, or traveling by a donkey. So when the child died, let's connect this. What this means is that when the child died, she immediately began pursuing the solution. She refused to camp in the problem. So it's telling us that she most likely had to travel up to 6 hours, family, after her child died. Let's focus in on the woman. The text says a great woman. This is a Hebrew phrase, Isha Gedalah. It literally means a great woman, not merely rich, not influential, not great in stature, not great in character, not so much great in discernment. Well, I should paraphrase that. Not merely influential, but when it says great, it does mean great in stature, great in character, great in discernment, great in wisdom, great in influence, great in spiritual perception. So she wasn't rich, but she still was great. And I want you to understand that riches and wealth does not make you great. I'm going to say it again. Riches and wealth and riches doesn't make you great. A lot of times we see those people as great, but they're some of the most despicable people on the planet. Having a value system, having great character, having integrity, having wisdom, using your influence positively should be the measure of greatness. Notice how the Bible never tells us what her personal name is. But yet, this woman is well known throughout the annals of time. Let's look at some metaphysical insight. Identity is always more important than title. I want you to type that in the comment section. Identity is always more important than title. Type that in the comment section. Identity is always more important than title. There are a lot of people who have a title, but their identity is not in alignment with it. And it's only a matter of time you're going to see that they're in a title or a position that they're not fit for, or that they're not truly aligned with. Stop chasing titles. Become something in identity first. And then if the title is meant for you, you will align with it first from an identity perspective. What's powerful about this woman is the text remembers who she was, not what she was called. Folks are still teaching about this woman. We don't even know her name. Similar to the woman with the issue of blood. We don't know her name either. I want you to type this word in the comment section, discernment. Discernment. Turn that in the comment section, discernment. Discernment. Let's type that in the comment section, discernment. Discernment led to a miracle. Her discernment, some would say, created the miracle. 2 Kings 4:9 says, I perceive that this is an holy man of God. I perceive. Hebrew word yada. Now, let me say this before I get into the definition of that word. Yes, I'm in the spiritual metaphysical space. Yes, I don't no longer run 24/7 in the traditional Christian circles. And yes, I have, as a pastor, experienced growing up in that space. with a father who pastored for 48 years and myself who pastored 25 years in a traditional setting. And now that I have been promoted to where I am now, my perspectives and concepts are different. But don't get it twisted. I still believe in honoring people, as this woman did, and I still believe that there are spirit beings, well, all spirit beings who possess a soul in them in a body. So when I say persons, you know what I mean. But I still believe that there are people among us who are unique and special. I'm going to break that down. Yes, there are a lot of teachers and metaphysical teachers, and I understand what they say when they say, well, nobody's special because everybody's powerful, everybody's God, everybody's divine, whatever they say. Okay, I'm not going to get into that. There are people amongst us, though, who display unique character, unique abilities, unique powers, and they use it to serve. They use it to serve not just themselves, they use it to serve the masses. They use it to serve whoever comes into their presence. They use it to help uplift and make people's lives better. These are great people, and they should be honored. In this text, it's a prophet who has an important position within the kingdom, although the way we revere this prophet today is not the way that prophet was revered or Elijah was revered back then. He was only known in small circles and a few nations, maybe outside of Israel. But yet amongst his people, they knew his sacrifice. They knew his relationship. They knew his works. They knew his character. They knew his integrity. They respected his identity. That should still happen today. There are some men and women, and they're not of the persuasion that I was raised in, that I have respected for years. People don't have to agree with you 100% for you to honor them and for you to respect them. There are people I do consider to be holy. It means holiness, look at the word, set apart, sanctified for God's usage or for a special purpose. That's the nutshell of it. We can quote, get more definitive or more detailed, but in a nutshell, this man was set apart, and there are people who are set apart. Don't fall in alignment with the group that wants to, don't get me wrong, everybody can access God. We can access divinity. But there are some people who have dedicated their lives to this. Those people should be honored and they should be respected. Don't allow people, again, to cause you to disrespect people who deserve respect. Even if, again, you don't agree with all their teachings. They are living a life, to me and to others around them, that is serving the masses, that is helping the greater good come forth. They ought to be respected. They ought to be honored. That's with our time. That's with our love. That's with the words that come out of our mouths. That's even with financial means. They ought to be honored. This woman had never met the prophet before he came through. She discerned he was somebody special. And if you allow people to cause you to become jaded to the villains in ministry, the villains in politics, the villains in leadership, then you will find yourself not being able to honor the presence of greatness when it's in your midst. And you're going to potentially miss out on life-changing opportunities just because you want to see them just like everybody else who disrespects them views them. She had strong discernment. The word perceive, it meant to know, to recognize. Again, to perceive, to discern. Before she received the promise, she recognized the presence. My goodness. I'm going to say it again. Before she received the promise, she recognized the presence. I recognize the presence. For example, he's 93 years young. Yes, I'm in the spiritual metaphysical space. I don't do the traditional Christianity stuff. I am that I am We'll get into that later. We have our own spiritual community for people who are deconstructing and reintegrating into consciousness. But I've always respected Louis Farrakhan, despite what folks around me said. I didn't agree with what he said 100%, but I knew his heart was for his people. And I know he spoke truth to power. And I know he had the audacity to say things that other Black Christian leaders would not say. Are you hearing me? I can name you a list of people from all different walks of life that I honor. I would be honored to meet that man before he crossed over to the other side. I have seen from a distance what he represents. And again, he's not perfect. But what he has done in laying down his life for his people is to be respected, honored, and admired. I can give you a list of men and women that are in that category for me. She recognized the promise. Before she recognized the promise, she recognized the presence. I feel that. I feel that. Let your discernment work. Be cognizant and aware of who. Don't let your trauma, your distrust, and all this other stuff that you might be dealing with cause you to overlook greatness when it's in your midst. And again, greatness doesn't always have a sign on its head that says greatness. You can detect and discern this by your spirit self. She honored the presence of God. She honored the presence of the divine in that man and with that man. And again, hear what I'm saying. I'm going to say it one more time in a different way. Yes, we're all one with God. Yes, we all carry a presence, but there are some people who have, again, they are so in tune until what they bring is much greater than other folks around them. We don't worship that, we celebrate that. I'm going to say it again. This is not about worshiping a man or a woman. This is about celebrating and honoring that. And at the same time, in doing the right thing by them, a door can be opened through them. Hear what I'm saying. Everybody is a door of sorts, but some people represent a greater door, a greater access for you to things that are otherwise you can't connect to or connect with yet within yourself. So you need the door. The prophet was a door for her and her husband. But again, that was not her motive. Her motive was not to get something out of it. Her motive was to honor and celebrate who she perceived him to be. She honored his presence. Yes, she did. She built a room. She prepared a place. She created an atmosphere. And again, so-and-so, I ain't doing that for them. I ain't giving them all my money. I'm not giving them. Why are you watching him? Apparently, there are people sometimes in our ear who do not discern the presence. They don't know the presence. They can't recognize. They only recognize a certain amount of what they perceive to be greatness in terms of material things, in terms of the accumulation of wealth, but they don't know spiritual greatness. They don't know spiritual power. This woman discerned that. So she talked it over with her husband and said, this man is passing through all the time. Let's do something special. Let's build a room on to our house so that he can rest himself whenever he comes through, because she's basically saying, I am conscious of who the divine, who God is sending past us, sending past our house every single day. And I think we should honor that by building a room on. She built a room, had a room built. She prepared a place. Watch this. She created an atmosphere. There are a lot of folk that don't know how to create an atmosphere for the presence. They don't know how to create an atmosphere for something or someone to speak into their life. They don't know how to create an atmosphere to honor those who serve. The metaphysical insight is this: every manifestation begins with making room. I'm going to say it again. Every manifestation begins with making room. I feel that. I almost had something come out of my mouth. It was a tongue. Hear what I'm saying today. Hear what I'm saying today. She made room in consciousness to discern who and what he was, but she also made physical room, not understanding that physical room was going to lead to relationship, which was going to lead to access, which was going to lead to multiplication for her. Before a new reality enters your life, space must exist for it. You got to make room. A seed cannot be planted where no soil exists. A child cannot be born where no womb exists. A new identity cannot emerge where no mental space exists. Hey, my goodness. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. My goodness. My goodness, people don't have to understand why you do, why you serve, why you support. But I'm telling you, you're making room. You're making room. Let me say this. You must prepare internally for what you desire externally. You must prepare internally for what you desire externally. Type that in the comment section. You must prepare internally for what you desire externally. This woman didn't realize it. She was preparing. She was offering her house. Her house was an offering. And again, people go over the top. People that got money lines. I've been in that before. I stopped all that stuff before I even left that space. But hear me, honoring somebody that deserves to be honored will always lead to greater manifestation when you do it from your heart. But it starts internally. Internally. This woman made room in her heart for the prophet and his servant. This woman made room in her heart, more room than what she realized for God, for the divine, for the source, for the eternal. You must prepare internally for what you desire externally. Matthew 9:17 says, neither do men put new wine into old bottles. The consciousness must expand before the blessing arrives. New thought. Thank you. New consciousness, new awareness, new self-definition, new healing, new wholeness, new concepts, new ideas, new identity. Family cannot be poured into something old. You can't pour that into your old mindset. You can't pour that into old ideas. You can't pour that into the old philosophy. And let me give y'all a bit of advice, and stop listening to people who represent the old way you used to be and the old way you used to think. Why are you entertaining their thoughts? Why are you listening to them? They represent old bottles with an old mindset. The King James verse says wine skin. Because everybody who made wine, and even those who didn't make wine, knew that when you make new wine, you don't try and use the old wine skins. It can't hold it. It's not elastic enough. It's too brittle. It will not expand. And eventually it will leak. The consciousness, I'm going to say it again, must expand before the blessing arrives. I'm going to say it again. The consciousness must expand before the blessing arrives. This woman's consciousness expanded just because of a loving, respectful, honorable gesture she wanted to offer to the prophet. She didn't even know him personally. She didn't even know his name at the time. Watch this, catch this. She didn't even know his greatness. She didn't know that was Elisha when he was coming by. She just discerned within herself, he is a great man of God. I'm going to bless him. Talked it over with her husband, got alignment, and created a place for him and his prophet and his assistant, to kick up their feet, to rest. Psychologist Kurt Lewin proposed that behavior emerges from interaction between the person and their environment. Transformation requires changing the field in which consciousness operates. In other words, what you repeatedly make room for eventually becomes your reality. What you repeatedly make room for eventually becomes your reality. What you repeatedly make room for eventually becomes your reality. This woman, again, didn't realize I'm making room for the prophet, which means I'm making room for the divine in him, the God in him, whatever it is that makes him special, whatever connection he has to the eternal, I am making room for. You don't realize that when you connect and bless and empower somebody like this, you're expanding your own life. You're expanding your own consciousness. You're expanding your own potential. You're expanding your own abilities, because by spiritual right and spiritual law, you now get to access the uniqueness and the specialty and the power and the favor that is in and upon that person's life. Oh my goodness. What you repeatedly make room for eventually becomes your reality. 2 Kings 4:16. They asked her before that, what do you want? The prophet now, the God in the prophet, the divine that's one with the prophet. Heart has been touched. Who else has made this gesture on the road? Who else has given like this on the road? Who else has made this sacrifice on the road that he was traveling? Who else around him has offered this in authenticity and genuineness and real love and real respect and real honor? I know that those things are frowned upon today. I know that folks abuse that. But when we do it from the heart, and more specifically, when we honor it to the right vessels, there's always going to be great manifestation for us, whether we're looking for it or not. And he said, as he was talking to his servant, what can we do for this woman? This woman said, well, I got everything I need. And the servant starts saying, well, I know something that she desires that she don't have, and that's a child. Hear me. That's a child. I want you to understand something. He said to her, he called her before her. Again, I want you to see. Whew, my goodness. I want you to see something. There is a wonderful creator. There is a conscious universe that you hear me talking about all the time, that works according to principles, also works according to vibration. I want you to catch something here. She offered love. She sowed love and reaped love. She sowed love, watch this, and reaped the greatest desire of her heart just by sowing or giving love. I want you to catch that. The same pattern works today. Love is never wasted time. Blessing and empowering people is never wasted time. Being kind to people is never wasted time. Investing in folks you honor is never a waste of time. Listen, the divine and this universe is paying attention to that love, paying attention to that frequency, paying attention to that intention. That which is you, that is connected to all, will reward you. You say you're going to have a son. Well, that's not just offspring. It doesn't just represent offspring for the sake of offspring. Children were not just merely emotional blessings. This wasn't just an emotional payoff for this woman. This wasn't just emotional compensation for this woman. But in an ancient world, children represented legacy. They represented future. They represented security. They represented continuity. They represented inheritance. Check this out. This woman was childless, advanced in age, and beyond expectation. Beyond expectation. She had decided a long time ago, this ain't going to happen for me. I'm in an age category, I will never be able to bear a child. We know this in her response. She doesn't get happy. She, in a way, she protests and says, don't lie to me. In other words, don't play with my feelings. Don't play with my emotions. You know why? Because disappointment has a memory. In other words, you can kind of see in the text, she's saying, don't say something to me that I've been warning most all my life, or don't say something to me that I've already tried and failed at, because I remember that we tried. I'm reading in between the lines psychologically. I remember that my husband and I tried and we failed every single time. Do you know that many people stop expecting because hope has wounded them? I said it. I said it. Hope has wounded them. Research from psychologist Charles Snyder on hope theory demonstrated that repeated disappointments reduce a person's perceived pathways to desired outcomes. In simple language, people stop believing because they've been hurt. Did you catch that? People stop believing because they've been hurt. Is there anybody who's watching me now? You put your belief and your hope on hold because you've been hurt. In other words, you hoped for so long and you didn't get the result that you wanted, and it created a wound in you. It created an injury in you. And so you decided, like this Shunammite woman, I'm just going to stop expecting some things. I'm just going to stop looking for some things. I'm just going to stop embracing some things. I'm just going to not believe some things. I'm just going to just decide within myself, well, I'm too old for this, or this, I can't have access to this, or this is just past the window of my opportunity for me. It's very possible that she varied the possibility of having a child years and years and years earlier. We don't know how old she was, but we do know she was advanced in age. Oh my goodness. So she has this child. She has this child, just like some of you all had this relationship, or you had this job opening, or you had this breakthrough in your mental health, or you had this breakthrough in your health, or you had these children and you are providing, and things are happening for you now. The promise came to pass. The promise came into being just as the prophet had spoken. She had a child. We fast forward in years. Her discernment opens the door for a miracle. The discernment opens the door for the divine that exists in great proportion in relationship to Elijah the prophet, that gives her access in a doorway, watch this, into something that was unattainable by her own faith, her own beliefs, and her own actions before. Now she has become impregnated. She has produced this son. She's happy. She has wealth in terms of family. She's fulfilled. And then one day the child goes to the field, believed to be probably around 4 to 5 years old. This child can go to the field. This child can communicate clearly. This child accompanies harvest workers. So this gives us an idea of his age. Some Jewish scholars estimate between 4 and 8 years old. Many place him around 5 years old. So this family wasn't a newborn. The promise had matured. The dream had developed. The blessing had become a part of life. This child not only was born, but this child had grown up to a certain age. It had been here a few years. So the prophecy manifested. The promise came into existence in physical form. This thing that she knew as a blessing has been a part of her life for years. Why is this so important? Because loss of something that we've been promised makes it even more devastating. It makes it even more devastating when we develop emotional ties, emotional connection to it, when we love on it, when we breathe it, when we eat it, when we sleep it, when we have embraced it. This child is in the field. Let's look at my time. Can I go a few more minutes before I stop? I'm going to try and find a good place to stop here. Can I go a few more minutes before I stop? Real quickly, I need a yes or no. I got some hearts. Do those hearts means I can go a few more minutes? Okay. I'm going to go a few more minutes. This child is out with the harvesters in the field, out with his dad and the harvesters in the field, and starts crying, "My head, my head." His head started hurting. His head started pounding. Many scholars believed it was either a heat stroke, cerebral hemorrhage, a brain aneurysm, or severe sun exposure. This is believed because the harvest system occurred during intense heat. This child's head was hurting so bad, apparently it couldn't walk. So they carried that child to his mother. I want you to notice something right here. I want you to notice something in the text. Are y'all ready for this? This is what I want you to notice. I want you to notice how from this point forward, the father disappears from the story and the mother becomes front and center in this story. I want you to catch this. Why is this the case? Why is this the case? Is it because the promise was made to her? You can make a point with that. You can make a good argument with that. But we should also consider that this could be the case because faith often becomes personal. Hear what I'm saying today. The person who had given up on the hope, who now has the manifestation of a good thing, of a great gift from a prophet, now finds herself in a similar place where she's got to learn how to walk out her own faith. Do you realize that there are moments nobody can walk for you? Nobody can believe for you. Nobody can pray for you. Nobody can pursue God for you. These are moments that happen in our lives. Yes, we could be linked up and connected like she was to the prophet, who she eventually sought out to fix this mess for her. But in this corridor, in this passage of time, until she could get to the man in this case, until she could get to the divine in this case, until she could access what was necessary to cure this in this case, she had to walk it out alone. The book says the child sat on her knees in verse 20 till noon and then died. Reality contradicted the promise. The miracle child dies. The promise appears broken. The vision collapsed. The dream disappears. Do you realize that people experience this every day? They experience a failed marriage. The ministry dies or declines. The business collapses. Health sometimes deteriorates. Finances can disappear. Dr. Martin Seligman's research on learned helplessness in 1967 demonstrated that repeated negative experiences can condition people to stop believing change is possible. Hear this. Many people surrender not because God failed, but because their interpretation failed. Come on, hear me. Many people surrender. I've been there before. It's not because the divine failed. It's not because the source failed. It's because their interpretation failed. Repeated negative experiences can condition us to stop believing change is possible. And there are people around you that will reinforce that change is not possible. And everybody is this way. And life is that way. And when you believe that foolishness, then your filter is created in a way to interpret life as that. And so you surrender. And your surrender, what's that is the source didn't fail us. The creator didn't fail us. Our interpretation of our own lives fails us. Can you imagine having an interpretation that fails you and you're walking this corridor and this path alone? Isn't it? This is why I say you got to be grateful for connections. You got to be grateful for being connected to a solid tribe or a solid congregation or a solid group of people, hear me, who are going in the same direction spiritually and psychologically that you're going in. Because sometimes when you're walking this out alone, like she did in this particular text, until she could get to the prophet, she had nobody to encourage her, nobody to use as a sounding board, nobody to speak into her. The only thing she had was her personal interpretation of the situation. And what's dangerous again about that is because it can be incredibly flawed. People don't want to admit that when they've gone through hell and back and have a poor interpretation, they are bent toward negativity, not positivity. They are bent toward failure, not success. They are bent toward things always repeating in the same patterns they existed before, not bent toward new things, new change, new behavior, new lifestyles, better days. Hear me. The event is not the end. The child died, but the story wasn't over. Hear what I'm saying today. I want you to type this in the comment section. A contradiction is not necessarily a cancellation. Type that in the comment section. A contradiction is not necessarily a cancellation. Hey, my God. Type that in the comment section. A contradiction is not necessarily a cancellation. I preached a message years ago called The Contradiction of the Promise. I preached it multiple times, and every time I preached it, people were crying and weeping, and the power of the source was present. The power of God, the creator, was present. And I wanted them to go back to the beginning. I went back to the beginning of the patriarchs to show them that Abraham's wife had a contradiction of the promise. Sarah. Then you got Isaac, his wife was barren. And then you got Jacob, one of his wives were barren. Come on here, somebody. The three main patriarchs in this line had contradictions of the promise. Hear what I'm saying today. I want you to catch, though, that contradiction is not necessarily a cancellation. Stop looking at stuff that pops up in your world that's contrary to where you're going, contrary to what has been revealed, contrary to what you're co-creating, contrary to what you know, and saying, because this incident happened, it means I shouldn't do this. That's not always the case. Oh, my goodness. My goodness, my goodness. Let me find a good place to stop. This is what I want you to see here. This is what I want you to see here. She refused to bury it. She refused to bury it. Do you realize that when this son died, Jewish custom, now this is Jewish custom required rapid burial, sometimes the same day. Yet she does not begin funeral preparations. She doesn't begin funeral preparations. Instead, she places the child in the prophet's room. This is powerful. Hear me. She places the child in the prophet's room. Let me say this to you real quickly. Let me say this to you. Some of us are burying stuff too soon. And some of us are burying stuff that should be saved. We're burying stuff that's meant to be reanimated. We're burying stuff that's meant to be resurrected. We're burying stuff that's meant to live alongside with us. Oh, because it looks like it's dead. Look like the finances are dead. Look like the plan is dead. Look like your transition is dead. Look like your revivification is dead. Look like the new person that's emerging in you because of recent circumstances looks like it's dead. Because other folks don't agree with you and believe you in this moment, it looks like you should give up on it. Therefore, it is dead. But this woman didn't bury it. She put the child in the place where it all started. And you know where it started? The divine in the prophet, the God in the prophet, the creator with the prophet, the creator in. I'm putting it in the place. I'm putting my miracle. I'm putting my promise in the place where it started. The place where the promise originated became the place where she returned the problem. You take your problem back to the source. You take your problem back to the creator. You take your problem back to the divine that's in the man and woman who declared and decreed it. Do you know how many prophecies I've given people over time that seem to fail? And my phone would ring and it would be these people say, hey, you said this and it died. You said this and it's not looking like it's working. And what would I use? Number one, I would stand on what was revealed to me. And number two, I would access the divine and the God that I knew to realign them with the living manifestation, the living, breathing, active, successful, prosperous thing. And just as we see in the text, when it's something emanates from you, when something originates from you into somebody else, that same authority is there if it dies to bring it back. I hope somebody caught what I just said. Hey, my God, she returned the problem to the place where the promise originated. Watch this. She returned the contradiction to its source. Did you hear what I just said? I'm going to say it again. She returned the contradiction to its source. See, this is powerful because a lot of people give their problems to fear. She returned hers to faith. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? I'm trying my best not to get up and run around this, not to get up and run around this item, but hear what I'm saying today. This has happened to me. Money looked like it's collapsing. Fear sets in. Oh, you're not going to have. Oh, you're going to just lose everything. Oh, people are going to laugh at you. Oh, you're going to be homeless. Oh, you're going to be struggling like you always struggling. That's fear. You don't give problems to fear. Stop giving your problems to doggone fear. What is fear going to produce? More fear. And more fear produces what? More collapse. And more collapse produces what? More disappointment. And more disappointment produces what? More failure. More failure produces what? More heartache. Stop letting fear talk to you. Stop letting fear guide you. Fear that's coming from the mouths and the voices and the throats of other people and coming from the mouths and your own throats. Stop speaking fear. I don't love fear. I don't like fear. Fear don't have an opinion in what I'm dealing with. She gave her problem to faith. I'm going to say it again. She returned her problem to faith. She said, when the father asked her, what's happening? She said, I got to go see the prophet. I got to go see the prophet. Listen, I'm going to have to stop here in a few minutes. I don't want to go too long. She said, I got to go see the prophet. Where you going? How you going to find him? It's not new moon. She said, it is well. It is well. Listen. Let me find a good place to stop here. I'm going to pick that up next week. I'm asking you right now. I got to ask you a question. Who are you giving your problems to? Who are you giving your problems to? Who are you talking to your problems about? If you're talking to your problems to people who are full of faith, full of fear, hear me, full of a natural carnal mindset. Well, see, if you don't do this, well, you just can't possibly have that. And, it takes this to make money and it takes this to have that. And, this is what I know from my experience. And your experience is very limited. Their experiences is limited. It's not divine. It's not supernatural. And it's not in alignment with who and what you are. Mm-hmm. See, when you run into something that appears to be problematic, you don't return that problem to fear. You don't ask fear to give you an opinion. You don't let fear dictate to you and drive the outcome. You don't give it to anxiety. You don't give it to apathy. You don't talk a problem over with apathy. You don't talk a problem over with hopelessness. You don't talk a problem over with doubters. You don't talk a problem over with people who are not spiritual. You do what this woman did. You go back to the source of all things. You go back to the source of miracles. You go back to the source of everything that exists in creation. You go back to the source of where what was spoken came to pass. You go back to that source. That source lives in everybody who's watching me right now. I want you to hear what I'm saying today. I'm going to say it again. That source lives in every being who is watching me right now. If nothing else, go back to the source in your memory where the source opened doors for you to get places to live, where the source opened doors and money even came at the last second, where the source was there with you and spoke to you and then fulfilled what was spoken in you, with you, and through you. Go back to those times where you could remember where supernatural came out of another dimension, was not of this physical, natural, tangible world, but something that originated within you in concert and connection with God, the source. Go back to those moments. Take it. The old folk used to say, take it to the Lord in prayer. And I'm telling you, take it to the source in faith. I'm telling you to revisit the place where it began, revisit the feeling, revisit the presence, revisit the manifestation, revisit the moments that had happened. Hear what I'm saying today. This is what gets me. This is what gets me. Why are you going to something else other than the source? Why are you going to something else other than the divine? Why are you appealing to the flesh? Why are you appealing to logic? It wasn't logic that got you that miracle. It wasn't logic that opened that door for you. It wasn't logic that made a way where there was no way. It wasn't logic that healed your body. It wasn't logic that made a way. Come on now. It wasn't logic that touched your mind. It wasn't logic that showed up in supernatural body and supernatural form to get you out of what you were in. It wasn't logic that created that. It was divine. It was God. It was the spirit of the living creator. It was God itself in you, with you, operating as you and one with you. I need you to catch what I'm saying. This is where you return problems to. This is where you return problems to. Hear what I'm saying today. Hear what I'm saying today. Everybody knows, whether they like it or not, it's better to take the vehicle back to the manufacturer who created it. Yeah. When something breaks down, you can find other mechanics that can fix it. But it's better to take it back to the manufacturer if you can, because they have the original blueprints and design. Did you hear what I just said? I want you to really, really, really embrace, hone in, and recognize right now in this very moment. The contradiction is not denial. The key right now to moving forward, family, to moving forward past what appears to be a glaring contradiction or opposition in your life, is to return the problem where the promise originated. I got to stop here. I got to stop here. I got to stop right here. Hear me. Your state of consciousness right now that I believe is absorbing the words that are coming out of my mouth is going to determine what happens next. Catch this. And I got to shut it down. Let me see if I can get some music in the background and it won't mess up my voice. I got to shut it down. Listen. I want you to type this in the comment section. I am not going to bury my promise. And type that in the comment section. I am not going to bury my promise. I'm not burying my promise. I'm not burying my miracle. I don't care what people say. And people would speak horrible things to us because they didn't want it to work anyway. They would constantly feed us with stuff that they didn't like anywhere. They didn't agree with. No. I'm not listening to you. I don't accept your text. I'm not responding to it. If you call me, you're going to want to get off the phone with me because I'm going to be so silent. I'm not listening to none of that stuff you saying. I'm not burying nothing. Not burying nothing. I saw that. Watch this. Hear me. This woman revisited the source in her mind. She revisited the place where the promise started because she remembered her years of barrenness, from barrenness to fruitfulness, from fruitfulness to birth, from birth to watching this child grow. She know the word that originated the manifestation of the promise. She know the word that was spoken that led to conception. Hear what I'm saying today. Hey, many of you got so many testimonies, but a contradiction will pop up. There's so many other things to show you that you're lying, but stuff will come up and you will allow fear to educate you. Fear will act like sit back like it's a psychologist. And yes, see, because you see this is just a sign that you shouldn't do this. Hear what I'm saying today. But it does not want to remind you of what the promise and the fulfillment of that promise has already demonstrated to you. Her state of consciousness was not to bury it, but was to return to the giver, return to the source, return to the power that was responsible for the existence of her miracle. And I'm telling you right now, as sure as what my name is, the Spirit is speaking to all of us here today and saying it's not in your job. It's not in the medical report. It's not in your credit score. It's not in your diagnosis. It's not in the misery of your trauma that you keep reliving. It's not in the people who are advising you incorrectly. Miracles have been birthed and miracles have taken place in your life because of the source, whether it was purely source one-on-one with you or the creator and the source operating in somebody and with somebody. That's where you take your problems and you take it to a place in consciousness where you know all is well, you know it is well, you know it's not time to bury it. It's not time to take your hands off of it. It's not time to give up. All is well. This was a state of consciousness she lived from and lived in and lived with. And I'm going to end it there today. I thank you now for everybody who's watching me live and in replay. We remember the Shunammite woman. We wear her example right now. We're not burying our miracles. We're not burying our hope. We're not burying our promise. But right now, we have already at this juncture returned it to the room of the source. We've returned it to the place where the promise began. And we know that it's not over yet. It's not over yet. There is something that's coming. There is something that's coming to my house to revive it and restore. There is something that's coming up within the house of my spirit, the house of my being. I'm summoning my own Elijah. I'm summoning the God in me to be free, to do what omnipotent beings do. I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you. I want to thank you to the ones who considered giving up before this word, that they're still here. I just want to thank you for the ones who experienced confusion before they heard this message, that they are still here. I just want to thank you for the ones who've been experiencing contradictions, from plenty to scarcity. That's a contradiction. From happiness to sadness. That's a contradiction. From the ground being firm to the bottom falling out of everything. That is a contradiction. Thank you that they're still here. Thank you that they have not buried vision. They have not buried resurrected life. But they are still here. Still here. Still here. Honoring a consciousness as they're on their way to meet God, as they're on their way to have a connection with the prophet, as they're on their way to the place where it all began. They still know and still believe that all is well. It is well. And I thank you. I remember the name, the power, the way, consciousness of Yeshua, and I thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is so. So it is, as some would say. Ashe. Ashe. Tell me how you're feeling in this moment. Hearts being lifted. Pressure is dispersing. My goodness, I sense it so strong. I sense it so strong. I just came by to tell you it's not over. I just came by to tell you this is a setup for supernatural activity, supernatural intervention. This is a setup. So all this is. You now have a front seat to experience what folks have been testifying and praying about and praying for. You now have a front seat to watch the divine, as we say, watch God show up and show out. You now have a front row seat in the theater of the universe to watch things shift incredibly and supernaturally and metaphysically in your favor. It is so. It is so. And so it is. Yes. You're witnessing it right now. How you feeling? How you're feeling in this moment? I want you to absorb. I want you to absorb it all. Some might be shedding tears. I want you to absorb this feeling, absorb this presence. Let it abide in you. Bring it to remembrance before you go to sleep tonight, all is well. You've seen trouble lately, but all is well. Your plans seem to have a kink in them, but all is well. Something happened that's been working on your nerves, working on your mind, but all is well. Seems like there's been a setback in your progress, but all is well. It's well, Linda. It's well. It is. It is well. That there's a peace. You're not alone. You're never alone. You're walking it out by faith as a being, and it feels like you're alone, but you're not. You're not. One of my old church mothers used to have a saying. She used to say, "Boo boo the fool." I don't know. The widow woman might have felt for a few seconds like "Boo boo the fool." We'll talk about exactly what she said when she got to the prophet. But I got this, and now it looked like it's not gonna work. It's dead. What did I just fall for? What just happened here? What's going on? And then she had to adjust herself. She had to adjust herself and say, "No, it's well. It is well. It's not ending like this." Mm-mm. I know what death said. I know what conditions appear to be saying to me right now. I know what my flesh is screaming, but it is well. Sometimes everyone, some or many things, I should say, and many people in many circumstances, don't seem to support your faith, don't seem to support the vision, don't seem to support the miracle. Who cares? As long as you know, like this woman, it is well. As long as you know you have an ally in the source, in God, in the creator that lives in you, that's one with you, as long as you maintain your perspective. And I'm not burying nothing. It is well. It is well. I'm taking this back to the one who gave it to me. It is well. Maybe you don't know what to do, but it is well. Maybe the ground is shaking beneath your feet. It is well. Maybe you are tired and fatigued. It is well. Maybe it looks like another situation where just as you began to see change, it looks like this thing is slipping out of your hands, out of your grasp. It is well. It is well. I want you to personalize this in the comment section. If I were to type this, I would say, "It is well." A.G. Green, or it is well, Anthony G. Green. And I want you to type in the comment section to yourself right now. Put your name on the end of that statement. And I want you to speak it out loud as well. But I want you to type to yourself in the comment section right now, it is well. Come on, I'm going to release you. I know I'm over time. I got tears formed in the corner of my eyes. Because we need to know that we know that we know. It is well. I don't care what Trump does. I don't care how many laws they change. The redistricting of the vote does not change my inner consciousness. If there are people trying to revert us back to 50 years ago, it is still well. It is well amidst chaos, calamity, unrest. It is well. All right, if you want to sow your seeds and give your offering today, you can definitely do that. I'm going to release you in a few minutes. We'll talk a little bit about Shalom next week in the message. But just know, all is well. I don't know exactly who this is for. I feel it. I feel your heart. As I feel my own, I feel yours. Let this overcome despair. Let this overcome depression. Let this overcome a life that appears to be moving slow in terms of progress. Let this overcome your frustration. It is well, because all is well. Shalom, shalom, peace, boldness, and prosperity. Nothing missing. Nothing broken. It is well. Ashe. Ashe. Thank you for being a part of this journey of awakening and transformation. Support the Light Through Revolution, Inc. by liking, sharing, and giving. Cash App $AG Green and $AG Green Enterprises. You can also give by Zelle. Anthony G. Green at hotmail.com is what you use. And Chime $Anthony/Green/336. If you haven't joined as a member of Patreon, now is a good time. We're a spiritual community that's evolving, transforming, and ascending. If you like what you have seen and heard, connect with us. It's time to vibe with your tribe. Also, take time to visit theaggreen.com for the latest developments and explore divinespecies.com for spiritual tools to elevate your life. Your love and support helps keep this mission alive.